All right, what is up, everybody? We are live. Gonna get through pretty much just a lot of stuff to cover here today. So we'll start off with the paint scheme preview, of course. Let me drop that down here in the chat so you guys can follow along at home. So there you go. There is the paint scheme preview right there from NASCAR.com. Ross Chastain, beamoose.org. We've seen that one. I'm just going to be honest with you. Not a lot to choose from here. Discount tires, we're used to that one. Winchester Rifles have the USA flag looking thing on the side of Austin Dillon's car here. So a little bit of a different variation of that. Rush Truck Center's for Noah Gregson, Kyle Larson, HendrickCars.com. Travel Center of America and Castrol on the hood. You've got sort of a red, white, and blue, then a green, white, and red. Interesting look. It doesn't look good to me, but I don't know. It's up to you to decide that one. Nations Guard on the side there for Justin Haley. Lucas on the side for Kyle Busch. Napa Auto Parts, their normal scheme. Grizzly nicotine pouches, they are doing the camo look with some orange trim. That is the right way to do camo. I like the orange trim when you do camo. It just makes sense. King's Hawaiian going with a little bit of a different scheme here. They've got the soft pretzel bites here for Young, James, Dennis Allen, Hamlin here with the number 11 car. Sort of got some New York Mets colors going on here. So you got, sort of orange and blue going on. So not bad at all. So we'll put him in the top 5 off jump. Menards here, normal scheme for them. Sylvania's on the hood. 16 Grizzly doing a regular scheme on AJ Allmendinger, green and black. Black base, green trim, chrome green number. Bodyguard, sort of very similar to the, except with orange, very similar to the Grizzly deal up there. Very similar look, but just with orange coloring for Chris Buescher. Thanks, Vets, from the Bass Pro Shop gang there on the side of the number 19, Chase Briscoe. Almost called him Martin Truex Jr. there for a brief second. Number 20, DeWalt, their normal paint scheme for Christopher Bell. Josh Berry, the Wood Brothers Motorcraft, always a good scheme, but we've seen it a whole lot here. Same thing with Shell, their normal paint scheme. And here is the first of several Robin Hood paint schemes. This one on Bubba Wallace's. He's got the safety green, neon yellow, whatever you would like to call it. On his number 23, similar colors to the Raptor car, who, even though it's the same color, the Robin Hood car looks really good. The Raptor car, they just can't nail this color scheme for William Byron, but the potential is there, as you can see with the Robin Hood design. Maybe take a chapter out of that if you were the Raptor gang. United Rentals on the side here for Austin Hill with, once again, New York Mets colors here, white base, but then you got the Mets colors, the blue and the orange there. Loves their normal scheme on the side of the 34 for Young, Todd, Pickle Todd, Gilliland. 35 Monster are going to be on the side for Riley Herbst. It's a monster scheme. We've seen it. Long John Silver is always a top 5 scheme. Best chicken tenders in the game. Everybody knows it. It's well-established fact here on the side for the 38 of Zane Smith. 41 Cole Custer, Haas Tooling. 42 Pine Barker. 43 Dollar Tree. All of those we've seen before. 45 Pinnacle. We've seen that one before. Also for Tyler Reddick. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. III has the NOS paint scheme. Like I said, not a lot to pick here from today. Ally Racing Opening Roads Sweepstakes is a gray base with pink and purple. So since not a whole lot of people have made an effort to have unique schemes for this one, we're going to put him in the top 5 as well. Monster Energy, Ty Gibbs. Then you've got Stoke Cold Brew on the side here for Ryan Preece. Sort of a red chrome number, red outline, and then you got the beverages there on the side. Barger Precast on the side there for Chad Fincham. Here is the alternate Robin Hood. You flip it from the Bubba Wallace car. This one is a base of black with the highlight trim being that safety yellow, still better than the Raptor scheme. So once again, the colors have potential. Raptor just can't nail it. On the Robin Hood car of Corey Heim here for 2311 Gainbridge on the side here for Mike McDowell. We'll go ahead and we'll just put both Robin Hood cars in there, the Alex Bowman car in there, and whoever else I said earlier, Delaware Life. And then here's the other one that's going to be in the top 5, the number 88 of Shane Van Gisbergen. Great car, great colors. Wendy's did a great job here. The sandwich looks absolutely terrible. It is, I don't know, that's a lot going on, but they've got the picture of the sandwich on the side. That's the only thing about this car that's actually ugly. The car itself, really good paint scheme here from Wendy's and Trackhouse. And then you got the 99freeway.com Chevrolet for Daniel Suarez. All right, that's what they look like. Let's take a look at where they qualified. Chad Fincham brings up the rear of the field. In front of him is going to be Young, Corey Heim, Ty Dillon just in front of him, Todd Gilliland, Daniel Suarez, and Cody Ware take us up to the 34th position. 33rd is going to be Austin Hill. In front of him will be Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe, Noah Gragson in the 30th position. Riley Herbst and the Monster Energy Zero Sugar Toyota rolls off 29th. Shane Van Gisbergen in that Wendy's car is 28th. Eric Jones, 27th. Cole Custer, 26th. Michael McDowell in the 25th position. 24th is going to be Zane Smith in the Long John Silver's Ford. In front of him will be Austin Dillon, Joey Logano, Chris Buescher, Ryan Preece. Brings us up to 20th. 19 through 15 is going to be John Hunter Nemechek, Brad Keselowski, Justin Haley, Chase Elliott, and Alex Bowman. Then in front of him is going to be another playoff member there is Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, Carson Hocevar, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 11th. And your top 10 is going to be Josh Berry looking to punch a win to continue his playoff chase here because he is in deep trouble, as are several others. Christopher Bell in the 9th position, Bubba Wallace in 8th. Bubba Wallace, don't sleep on him. Like I've been saying, he could be a playoff spoiler. He has run really good this season. William Byron in 7th place here in the Raptor Chevrolet. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Austin Cindric take you up to the 3rd place. And once again, Austin Cindric's another one. I wouldn't sleep on him either. And if you're looking for a wild card, which we'll get to in just a minute, don't sleep on Ty Gibbs. Anyway, Ryan Blaney outside pole and AJ Allmendinger with the pole position at Bristol for AJ Allmendinger. Let's see how the driver averages for this track play out, because are you going to keep AJ Allmendinger? Are you going to bench him? With an average finish of 2.8 in the last 5 races since 2022, according to driveraverages.com, Kyle Larson has the best average finish. 3.4 for Denny Hamlin, 6.0 for Christopher Bell, 6.8 for Chase Elliott. Chris Buescher, Ross Chastain, Chase Briscoe, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Preece, and Ty Gibbs are going to round out your top 10 on average finish. Ty Gibbs, 13.4. Just below him in 11th is 13.8. Nobody else in the 13s or above there. In the last 5 races, your previous winners are Denny Hamlin with 2, Kyle Larson with 2, and Chris Buescher with 1. So those are your previous winners. Who has the most top 10s here if you're looking for some consistency? And at 5 apiece for Hamlin, Larson, and Bell. So those are the most consistent. Chase Elliott does have 4, and there are 3 apiece for Chastain, Gibbs, Byron, and Buescher. So keep that in your hat for your fantasy team. And if you like laps led, 946, nobody else is even close for Kyle Larson. 359 is your next closest man at Christopher Bell, and 305 for James Dennis Allen Hamlin. Ty Gibbs, who once again, like I mentioned earlier, don't sleep on Ty Gibbs, 239. This could be the breakout race for Ty Gibbs. Not a lot of people talking about him. What a lot of people are talking about is the tires and how they will wear or won't wear going forward. But if you look at driver averages ratings, they're going to say statistically Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, and Ty Gibbs are going to be your best pick. That is the poll question. So go ahead and jump into that if you want to vote on that. And of course, the other big news swirling around here today is NASCAR had a contingency plan if the teams were to go on strike called Gold Code or Gold Codes, if I'm not mistaken, where they were going to depending on how things went, they had all these different contingency plans for that. One of those contingency plans was to pull the charters, and NASCAR owns all of the teams. If it got bad enough, NASCAR would own all of the teams, and they would just run them as NASCAR teams and with some open teams, or however it played out. So that has gotten a lot of press. That has gotten a lot of backlash for NASCAR. Fans do not like it because it's really hard to beat, in a lot of people's opinions, including my own. It's really hard to beat the monopoly accusations if you do in fact have a plan in place, regardless of the scenario, where you own everything and you run the cars yourself. So NASCAR is going to have a hard time, in my opinion, explaining that in court, but we will have to see how all that plays out. But yeah, that is pretty much up to speed as far as that goes. So let's jump into the chat and see what you guys want to talk about. OJ and Toothpaste, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing good. Wise guy saying the tires look like they're going to suck with no tire wear. So yeah, that's a big part of it. A lot of people are talking about that. Will the tires wear? Are we going to get comers and goers? Are we going to get tire fall off? Is this going to be a race that you have to worry about tires? Or are the tires going to be too hard and not fall off? And it's going to be another basically track position type of race. And you're going to have to win this one on pit road with tackling and stuff like that. So that is definitely a heated topic right now as well. What's up, Shy? Does Larson go 3 in a row? Or is that team just a notch off this year, says Dirty Def? That's a great question. He has been in, for them, a slump, but not. It's hard to call it a slump, period, with the results they've gotten. But for him and that 5 team, it certainly has been a slump. So he's good here. We will see what they can do. Can somebody break the Toyota streak? That would be another question to be asked. Can somebody break the Toyota streak in the playoffs? Who's watching tackle ball, says Shaw. Yes, so football is going on. BB, long time no talk. What's up, Dirty Def? Good to see you on here, my dude. Was the Flaming Mountain Dew the best dew ever, says OJ and Two-Face. So yeah, the Flaming Mountain Dew, we had a little discussion in the Discord. The Flaming Mountain Dew is by far the worst Mountain Dew I think I've ever tasted in my life. Dirty Def was throwing in the Mountain Dew Lolly, Trolley, whatever it's called. I think it was Trolley candy collaboration, but it's a zero sugar drink, so that's throwing a lot of people off, and a lot of people don't like that one either. He says that one is the worst one. He is an expert in that field, so I will go with him. But to me, the worst one I've ever tasted was the Flaming Mountain Dew. To me, worst one ever. Checking in from Florida, happy race day. Let's go 24 team, says Say Kyle. Indeed. William Byron, pretty good here. So we'll see what he can, the regular season champ, we'll see what he can get going here. BB has been Christopher Columbus on us, says OJ and Toothpaste. Roll Tide, looking forward to Bristol tonight, says Dirty Def. There you go. Dirty Def's Tide. They got it together this weekend, and we're able to win. Bristol should be a good one. I'm hoping for a good race. What's up, Rodney? Good to see you on here, my friend. Saying hey, BB, and go 22. He is of course, Joey Logano fan. We'll see. Joey Logano in a precarious situation. You don't expect that from the 22 group, but that is kind of where they sit. Rosie, what's up, my friend? Always good to see you on here. Please hit the like button on your way in. It is free. Indeed. If you'd like to hit the like button, it would be much appreciated. Zero Ducks smackdown against Northwestern today, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yep, I think the Ducks are going to smack them down as well. Looking forward to it. It looks like a good year's new softer tires are going to be a nothing burger. Yeah, I think so too. Just Wooden. I don't think we're going to get a lot of tire fall off, but hopefully we're wrong about that, and hopefully it makes this a good race. Otherwise, it's going to be another track position race. Okay, since you asked nicely, Rosie, I will. Says Shah, does anyone below the cut line advance after tonight? Going to be a tough one, but the problem could change everything. The tire problem could change everything. We'll see. Yeah, one problem definitely could change everything. For sure, the tires could change everything. I think it's going to be a highly aggressive race, even if it is a track position race. I think people are going to be out there doing everything they can. I think it's going to be a chaotic race because it's a cut race regardless. So hopefully it's a good one way or the other. Bowman going to be the showman tonight and win this one, says Shy. Yeah, he definitely has good numbers for sure. So yeah, I forgot to make my picks, right? So Ty Gibbs as the spoiler and Kyle Larson as my favorite to win the race. I forgot to mention that during the intro rundown. Yes, folks, you heard it right. Alex has this, says Shy. So there you go, Shy. Putting his faith in the number 48, saying he's going to punch his ticket with a win. Him and Josh Berry are going to be in that position where they've got to sort of win to get in. Why can't Xfinity drivers run races in the Cup playoffs, but a Cup driver can't run races during the Xfinity playoffs? Just an interesting thought, says Joseph Wooden. Yeah, it certainly seems to be a double standard, right? And the reason they don't want to, the reason at least NASCAR gave is they don't want a Cup Series driver affecting the Xfinity Series playoffs. So by that logic, wouldn't it also make sense that you don't want an Xfinity Series driver not to affect the Cup Series playoffs? But, NASCAR, I guess, doesn't see it that way. So I can't answer it for them, but I agree with you. It does seem like a bit of a double standard there. Most certainly. What's up, BB? Do you think Bowman is a dark horse to win it? I think he's got a good chance. Yeah, he certainly has good numbers here. Let's take a look at his numbers real quick, if I've still got it pulled up. Let's see. Bowman. Yeah, average finish of 19.0, not bad. He has 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. He has 76 laps led here. His best finish is 4th, and obviously he's wrecked and had the worst finish he's ever had here since 2022 has been 37th. So he's obviously got collected in some stuff, but he's capable of a 4th place. That means 3 more spots. He's definitely capable of a win. He certainly can get it done. I wouldn't I wouldn't bet against him winning. We'll put it, that way. Qualifying 15th, sort of mid-pack, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. But there's several playoff drivers right there with him. Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott. So you probably feel pretty good that those guys know what they're doing. They're not going to put you in a bad spot that early on in the race. So hopefully he'll be able to get through that. Other drivers who I would be worried about their qualifying effort would be Chase Briscoe here, starting 31st, SVG in 28th. Austin Dillon and Joey Logano, 22nd and 23rd. I would be worried if I was those guys, because you're back here with the squirrels and people that don't have necessarily as much experience or as much on the line as you do. So, yeah, those guys are in bad positions. But Alex Bowman, I think with the guys that are around him, I think he'll be decent. I think they'll race him pretty clean because they have just as much to lose as he does. Rosie's saying, thank you, Shah. Joseph Wooten, because they have Eric Almirola, says Shah. So there you go. He says Eric Almirola is the difference. I don't know. I don't know. Because I guess they don't think Xfinity drivers are as big a threat, says Dirty Duff. Maybe that's the issue, but, a guy can bring out a caution and totally, not that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is an Xfinity Series driver race, but if you look at the Austin Dillon situation from last year when everything went crazy, even though it was the cutoff race to get into the playoffs, or not a cutoff race, but close enough, one race away. Anyway, the late caution from Ricky Stenhouse Jr., if one of these Xfinity guys cause a late caution, even though it's not necessarily contact, with a Cup Series driver, that could affect the outcome of the playoffs, much like it did in that particular race. Didn't have a better example off the top of my head. Can Josh Berry finish the first stage and not win on Earth 2, says Joseph Wooden. Yeah, Josh Berry has had a rough start to his first ever playoffs. So for Josh Berry, just finishing this race would be a huge achievement, because he has not had the playoffs that he wanted to have. That is for certain. BB until Darlington, I'd forgotten how much I enjoyed green flag pit stops. Please, TV and NASCAR, get rid of fake caution flags and make the race less exciting, says Bruce Garvey. They make the race less exciting, says Bruce Garvey. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'm not a big fan. I don't even care about the stage points and stuff like that. You can keep the stage points. Like, that's fine. Those are just bonus points. But the stage cautions just disrupt the flow of the race. They shorten the race. They make all of the strategy completely predictable in a lot of situations and a lot of racetracks. So, it makes for cookie cutter racing, to be totally honest with you. So I agree with you. Green flag pit stops are where it's at. Who is your favorite tackle ball team, NFL or college, says Dirty Def? San Francisco 49ers for the NFL. I also like the Buffalo Bills as a sort of secondary team there. In college, I'm always a Duke fan in college, but Duke, not obviously recently Duke football has been better. But Duke football, typically not great. So I started pulling for, Tennessee, Oregon, various other teams. The guy where my mom worked at, he was a Tennessee graduate, so I pulled for Tennessee. Oregon, they used to have Donald Duck on the side of their helmets, so I started pulling for Oregon. So those are the two teams I really keep up with in football as far as that goes, but college football at least. Let's see, the winningest active driver. I know Dirty Duff is excited about that Tennessee pool there. Let's see, tires fell off 3/10 over 30 laps. So do the math and do what you will with it, says Shah. So there you go. But that is before the teams had a chance to adapt to it. Now that the teams have had a chance to adapt to it, we will see how much they fall off, because we've seen that game before. It's going to be really interesting, though, Shah. Hopefully they do fall off. Though. The winningest active driver, Kyle Busch, starts 32nd tonight, says Jamie Switzer. Yeah, that's interesting. Hopefully he can get it together and have a good run back there. Cars can run 125 laps easy without needing fuel, says Shah. Oh, yeah, for sure. They can run way more laps on fuel than they can on tires. That's certainly been the case a lot of times at short tracks, or at least they should be able to. We'll put it that way. The tire shouldn't be that hard that it goes 125 laps, in my opinion. What's up, T-Van? Good to see you on here. Hello from Bristol, baby. What's up, CeeLo on the go? On the go with CeeLo. Check him out for the live streams. Always a great experience, and he is a Tennessee man as well. Glad you're enjoying Bristol, my dude. T-Van saying what's up. Shah saying what's up to T-Van. Don't see what the big deal is with the NASCAR stuff. Any company of substance would have a few game plans if things go poop, says Sir Wood Rooster. Yeah, I don't think the contingency plan itself is the huge issue. It's the one of the contingency plans, at least NASCAR would have full ownership of all the cars. I think that is the aspect of it that's getting a lot of press, especially when you're essentially fighting a court case where you're not a monopoly, where you're going to have competitive practices. Well, if you own all of the teams, that is anti-competitive by nature. So it will be interesting. And I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how this is all going to play out on court, but it doesn't look good if you have, even if it's a contingency strategy, to own every single one of the teams in the sport. And I think that's going to be interesting for NASCAR to explain their rationale on why they would ever want to do that, instead of just, because the counter argument to that would be, okay, these teams are on strike. You just bring in, if you're going to continue to race or whatever, you don't need to own all the teams. Just bring in scab teams or whatever and race with them. You don't have to own all of the teams. And the other thing is, they were talking about just completely getting rid of the charters too. So all these teams that paid all these money for these charters, and NASCAR just says, all right, they're gone now. Like, not a good look for NASCAR at all. So we're going to see how that plays out in court. I don't know legally if it's illegal or anything like that, but it's going to be interesting to see NASCAR explain itself in court with that particular contingency plan. I think that those are the two issues that are probably from those contingency plans that are getting the most press. But yeah, I agree with you. Like every organization that big is going to have a contingency plan. Why was that the contingency plan? I think is what's getting probably the most traction, if I had to guess there, Sir Wood Rooster. Good question, though. Great question. Let's see, or comment. On the go with CeeLo saying, what's up to T-Van? It's like, cheers, T-Van, says one wise guy. On the go with CeeLo, howdy C, says Sha. Due to environmental concerns, it has completely destroyed the fall off at a lot of tracks. Yeah, different tire compounds. Tires are really bad, period. Even now that they're, I guess, more environmentally friendly, ethically sourced, whatever you want to call it. They're still hard to get rid of, bad for the environment. CeeLo saying, what's up to Shy? Bring back Gator Gum and sponsor a cup car to advertise, says Jamie Schweitzer. Jamie Schweitzer wants the old Gator Gum back. I wanted Zilich to win last night so bad. I hate watching Johnson win all the time. But I'm rooting for this kid, says T-Van. I hated watching Johnson win all the time, but I'm rooting for this kid, says T-Van. So there you go. T-Van is on the Zilly train. Yeah, Zilly, the streak was broken last night. He had the win streak, finally got broken last night. Had a good car. Just couldn't get it done there at the end. And, of course, Eric Almirola, the cagey veteran, getting it done. And a nice tribute there to J.D. Gibbs with his words, at least after the race. Jamie Schweitzer, nice to see another fan of Gator Gum, says Shaw. Honest expectation for Austin Dillon tonight, says one wise guy. I think Austin Dillon's just going to probably keep his car clean. He's pretty good at short tracks, especially this season. They seem to, RCR seems to have found something at short tracks, at least for the 3-car. I think he's just going to run his plan, whether it works out or not, we don't know. He's probably just planning to run a consistent race and stay out of trouble and hoping somebody in front of him gets in trouble. Because I said it multiple times. I was like, all Austin Cindric, and because they were counting out Austin Cindric and Austin Dillon in this first round. I was like, all those two guys have to do is run clean. And I think enough guys in front of them will wreck that they will advance to the next round. And right now, they are in a position where they can do that, especially given Austin Dillon's race last week where he didn't have a fast car, but they just kept working on it, getting track position. If this is a track position race, this could go Austin Dillon's way again, and he could get to that next round. In that next round is where it would be interesting, because that's when you're going to have to start finishing consistently in the top 10, because that's when the cream keeps rising to the top, right? Or whatever the Macho Man said. Bowman, best finish at Bristol, is fourth, so it's going to be tough, says Dirty Def. Yeah, he's got to win. Him and Josh Berry definitely got to win. Josh Berry, a short track ace, so I definitely wouldn't bet against him either. It's going to be like last night, 19 old tires, clean air 1. If you're out front, you got to be first or stay out on that last stop, says on the go with CeeLo. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping we're both wrong, CeeLo, but I'm with you. It's going to be one on pit road. It's going to be a track position race. And to my point where I was just talking about with Austin Dillon, as long as he can keep the nose clean, stay clean. I like the 3 team, what they do with track position racing. They seem to have a pretty good feel for strategy on those. So I like, and Austin Cindric too. Those guys at the cut line, those two guys, pit strategy wise, solid efforts from both of the teams there, the 2 and the 3. BB, who wins on Earth 2, says Jamie Schweitzer. Earth 2. Just given the recent trend, and I do not like to say this, I'm going to say Josh Berry probably wins on Earth too. He just, God darn, like he's had a terrible start to the playoffs. So we'll see. We'll see. Entire situation gives a good unknown factor that makes for a great race. Go Larson, number 5, says 1776. Yep, that's who I've got picked as the favorite to win personally. And Ty Gibbs is going to be Young Teasy is going to be the wild card pick as far as that goes. 2003, a group of KO Yarborough and some other owners tried and needed some NASCAR venues, and maybe we know how that worked out, says Brickyard Brickhead. Indeed. NASCAR. They claim they're not a monopoly, but they do a lot of union busting, monopolistic type of things. So it's just, and legally, I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know if it's legal or not, but it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out in court, because they don't seem like they want competition, but are they? And no corporation really does. Let's keep it real. But are they doing enough to not be a monopoly? That's the real question. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess NASCAR is looking at the percentage of full-time Cup winners in Xfinity and full-time Xfinity winners in Cup, and didn't see it being the same as far as performance goes. Says Dirty Def. Probably, you're probably accurate on that. My only counter to that is you don't have to be running up front to affect the playoffs. And once again, this doesn't matter if we don't have a playoff, right? So let's not forget that fact either. But you don't have to be running up front to affect the playoff. You can wreck in the back of the pack and completely jumble up the front. Like Joey Logano, he doesn't get into the playoffs last year when he won the championship or whatever without that 5 overtime race. But once he got into the playoffs, he found another gear, and he played the system the way you play the system to win these type of championships, right? So you don't have to be leading to affect these races or even running near a playoff contender. You can bring out a caution and totally change the complexion of a race 100%. I guess NASCAR, I just read that one. Bowman will be good for fantasy points, assuming he avoids wrecks, says Shah. Yeah, for sure. Bowman is actually always a good pick as long as he doesn't wreck. He's pretty good as far as a steady, easy fantasy pick there. Just about every weekend. Love the Baloney Man. He's the leader of the pack. Best NASCAR info on the web, says Big Wheel. I appreciate you, Big Wheel. Thank you for the kind words. 39 watching. Do me a favor and hit the like button, says Jamie Schweitzer. It would be appreciated if you hit the like button, but don't feel pressured into doing it. Does he win? No, says Shah. Yeah, that's Bowman's deal. To me, Bowman, he gets on these winning streaks and then he gets on these cold streaks. But even his cold streaks are not that bad unless he goes and gets in a bunch of wrecks and stuff like that. CeeLo, how many people showed up for the race, says T-Van? Not at the track yet, chilling in the parking lot, but normally the lot is full. It's not, says On the Go with CeeLo. And Breakhard, I can't remember if he put it in a video or a TikTok or if it was just like a post that he made, but he brought up some good points somewhere where I was reading what he said. And he was basically saying the track and the car is not necessarily as much what's to blame for the attendance at Bristol as is the hotels and all the surrounding areas raising their prices and making it just so expensive to go to any of the Bristol races. He said he brought up a good point that more than anything else is actually affecting the attendance of Bristol. And I can't necessarily argue with that because even as back as far as when Clint Boyer was still racing or Clint Boyer had just retired from racing, he talked about the cost of the hotel rooms and stuff like that. If I'm not mistaken, I might have the wrong driver, but I'm pretty sure it was Clint Boyer. He talked about how expensive it was and how those organizations were sort of pricing out the average regular fan to be able to attend a Bristol night race. So they more than anything else, the city of Bristol has hurt the attendance, not necessarily the product on track. Although the product on track, it can't be argued, is not what it once was with this new car. But you know what? I'm not going to delve into the new car. I think it just needs improvement, and we can leave it at that. It is what it is. What happened first? Alex Bowman pit crew mistake or Josh Berry wrecking, says Jess Wooten. Oh, that would be a great poll question. That's a darn good poll question there, Joseph Wooten. I'll give you credit on that one. That is that's a good question, man. I'm going to say Josh Berry finishes this race tonight, even though I just picked him to win on Earth 2. Alex Bowman's pit crew will probably make a mistake before Josh Berry wrecks tonight. So that's I'm gonna take a strong stance on that one. There, just great poll question. Great poll question. Spring Bristol race definitely didn't help the enthusiasm for this race. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Part of it is the product, but part of it is factors that outside of NASCAR's control. Most certainly. Well, that's not good, CeeLo. Everybody must be watching or at the tackle ball games, says Shah. So that's the other thing. So the other thing that's kind of hurting this particular deal, Tennessee has a lot going on this weekend. The Titans have a game, the Volunteers have a game, and there's a Bristol night race. And just driving through Tennessee on Tuesday or Wednesday, I can't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday I drove through. Either way, just driving through Nashville and Knoxville on those 2 days, it was already a nightmare. The traffic was already a nightmare relative, not that the traffic is ever great in those two areas anyway, but even relative to a normal day, it was kind of bad to be driving through those areas. So it's there is a lot of people in Tennessee right now. Combine that with people moving to Tennessee anyway, especially the Nashville area, just to be moving there here recently. So just a lot of stuff going on. I'm not sure that maybe next year don't schedule a Bristol night race during football season would be part of it, because football is king in Tennessee. So that's going to affect your attendance. So we'll just keep it like it is as far as that goes as well. So a lot of factors influencing the attendance at Bristol here today. What do you think of Connor Zilic this year? Says OJ and Toothpaste. He looks really good. He looks just as good as anybody has ever looked in Xfinity, but that doesn't always mean it's going to translate to success on the Cup Series side. Let's just call it like it is. And I like Ty Gibbs, but Ty Gibbs put up really good numbers, very similar to what Connor Zilic has put up in the Xfinity Series. And we saw him struggle for his his rookie year and beyond. I think he's going to win a race. I think he's going to be good, but there's no guarantee. Joey Logano tore up the Xfinity Series, Nationwide, Busch Series, whatever it was back then. But it didn't translate when he got to Cup. It took him a little while. So will Connor Zilic be that guy that comes in and immediately starts getting wins after his very successful Xfinity Series deal, or will it take him a couple years? I don't know, but certainly, I do think he has the potential to be one of the best race car drivers of all time, as long as he continues his arc. So if I was a betting man, I would say Connor Zilic comes in next year. He probably gets a win on a road course, but I don't think he's going to tear it up near as good as he's tearing it up in the Xfinity Series. But I think within 2 or 3 years, a la Chase Elliott, a la Kyle Larson, it took those guys 2 or 3 years to put it together. After that time period, I do think you'll see him sort of crank it up and start cranking out the wins 100% for sure. If this is going to be a Toyota party, I'll get ready for New Hampshire. Go Heels, says Jimmy Howard. So there you go. We'll see. Can somebody stop the Toyota streak of wins here? We'll see in the playoffs so far. Hope Manny Diaz does good at Duke, says our Dirty Def. So far, so good. Didn't have the game they wanted the other week. A lot of turnovers. So if they can clean that up, hopefully they get it going and we can have another successful year like we did last year. But I'm much more heavily invested in Duke basketball, if we're being real, than Duke football. But I hope they do the best. Hey, BB, hope you're doing good. My friend Enzo, hope you're doing good as well. CeeLo channel, except the baseball. Love the CeeLo channel, except the baseball, says Jamie Schweitzer. So there you go. Except for the baseball, loves the channel. Bowman got some of hosts of ours, crew members for the race. Not sure about the rest of the season, says Josh Benton. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out, if that's a good thing or bad thing. So far, it's been a bad thing, right? So Interesting though. So I don't know if you're working the angle, but maybe that's a good thing for Hocevar, bad thing for Bowman going forward. We'll see. A lot of people in that Chevrolet pipeline want that 48 that's allegedly always on the hot seat, but we'll see how all that plays out. Both sides have a bad look. One side says the charters are bad, so they are steadily buying more. The other plans to burn everything down if they don't get its way. It's a mess. Yeah, that's why I really hate covering the legal side of it. Like, I don't watch NASCAR for the legal maneuvering and stuff like that. I have to keep up with it because it affects how the sport goes forward. But I'll just be dead honest with you. If this goes to court, I think it overall is going to hurt NASCAR, regardless of what happens. I think it's overall going to hurt NASCAR viewership. So I hope they get it settled out of court. And I really hope they get everything figured out and we don't go through this long, lengthy court trial, because I think NASCAR viewership will spike during the court trial. I think a lot of stuff will spike and be bigger than it's ever been. But I think much like any sport that's been through any type of labor strife, because that's basically what this is labor strife. You watch the numbers the next season, when all of it is said and done, those numbers decline heavily, rapidly, and not well. So hopefully they get this thing settled out of court and they don't hurt themselves in the long run. And hopefully there's no split like IndyCar had, because that would be detrimental as well. So hopefully they get it handled and it doesn't hurt the health of the sport overall. Did Richard Petty not try and make a union or something way back when drivers boycotted and NASCAR used fillers, says Shah? I don't remember Richard Petty being involved in it. I know Curtis Turner put one together at one time. And I think Cale Yarborough, somebody mentioned Cale Yarborough was trying to do. So Cale Yarborough was trying to do one where each state had a team. It would have been sort of like a actual professional team. Like North Carolina has a team. That's how Cale Yarborough's was going to run. Curtis Turner wanted an actual drivers union. He was doing something totally different, but those are the two efforts that I remember from back in the day. Earth 2, Roger Penske as a new owner of NASCAR names MJ as commissioner and Junior as a NASCAR president, says Jamie Schweitzer. Expectations for Cindric tonight. I think Cindric's going to have a good run. He's the guy in the playoffs nobody has talked about. He's the guy I could see going to the round of 8. Him and Bubba Wallace are the two guys that nobody really talked about at the beginning of this playoff that I could see go to the round of 8 and everybody be like, where did those guys come from? Because if you look, Bubba Wallace is more obvious. He's run up front, he's led laps, so his is more obvious as a dark horse at this point. But if you look at Austin Cindric as a dark horse, his is not as obvious. But if you look at, because he doesn't have as many stage points and stuff like that, he hasn't really been worried about stage points and things. But if you look at Austin Cindric's finishes over the last, I'd say 15 races, there's a lot of top, 12, 11s, 13s in there, 10s. Austin Cindric, he's been getting warm at the right time. And you can't discount the team he drives for. Penske right there. They know a thing or two about playoff racing. So I would not be surprised to see Bubba Wallace and Austin Cindric in the final 8 at all. Not at all. So I expect him to run good tonight, is the short answer, Enzo. I sort of went on a ramble there. I know you guys are shocked. Very reminiscent of 1969 Talladega boycotts. The show must go on, says Dirty Def. Indeed. CeeLo and BB. Hey, what's up, Russell Dominguez? Good to see you on here. I'm out. Catch y'all in the Discord. All right, One Wise Guy. Enjoy your family time. One Wise Guy going out there to hang out with his family. Much appreciated hanging out as always. Now Austin Cindric is competing in supercars later this year at Adelaide, grand finale in November. Will you be checking it out to see how Austin Cindric does, says Denver Thurston? I am. And kudos to Austin Cindric, and hopefully he actually follows through with his plans. Some Cup guys have done this and not followed through with the plans because stuff has happened. Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch come to mind. I think at least one other one has tried it. But I hope Austin Cindric goes over there, and I hope he has a good accounting for himself. And I don't think he'll win the race or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination. But I hope he's able to get a good top 10 or something like that. And yeah, I'll be pulling for him for sure. I hope. And shout out to him. He is really testing himself, in my opinion, against the best of the best as far as stock car style road racing type of cars. Eric Amarola has played a little role in the Xfinity playoffs. Austin Hill took a win from Creed for the Owners Championship. Fair game or foul? He's great equipment and a vet, says Jimmy Howard. Yep. Can't take anything away from Eric Almirola. He hasn't done anything to wreck anybody. He's just won races and stuff like that. So yeah, for sure. And what year did the tire compound start becoming tailored to different tracks, says Brickyard Brickhead? That's a great question. I am not a Goodyear Cup Series tire expert, so that's a great question. I'd have to ask somebody. I'd have to ask somebody about that. And if I can get a hold of them, I do actually have somebody I can talk to. Why does the Xfinity get a pass on dirty air compared to Cup? No doubt the cars race different, but most Xfinity races are dominated by whoever is out front with good pit stops, almost impossible to beat. Yeah, it's just the way the current car is set up. The Xfinity Series cars are more brick-like, and they don't have the rear diffuser thing to shoot the air out. So there's definitely dirty air still coming from the Xfinity Series cars, but it's not as concentrated, and it can't quite be used like a weapon as much as the Cup Series cars can. So that is probably the shortest answer I can give on that. But there's a lot of other factors too. Another factor is going to be what's called side force. There's still skew in the body of the Xfinity Series cars, and that is to say the right side of the car is flat, so that when you get it sideways in air, you've got more downforce on the right side of that car, so there's more stability in the turns, whereas the Cup car has a little bit, but it's mostly symmetrical, and when you're in a turn like that, you don't have that side force or whatever it's called as much on that side of the car. So there's a lot of things at play, but the biggest thing from what I've seen and heard experts talk about is the rear diffuser is just shooting that air directly on the nose, and you can almost use it like a weapon because it is so concentrated and it is so direct. And that's why you see when they're getting caught and they're in the lead, they'll run this sort of middle lane to where the person can't pass them on the inside and they can't pass them on the outside without going across them. And the reason they're doing that is if you have to go across them, you have to go through that turbulent air. And once you go through that turbulent air, you lose the downforce on the nose. And once you lose the downforce on the nose, you don't have as much grip and you can't continue to make that run. So that is at least my understanding of probably the biggest reason that the Xfinity car races better and passes better than the Cup Series car does. So hopefully I answered that well, and I got all my facts straight there. But that is my understanding of the two biggest factors as to why the Xfinity car races better a lot of times compared to the Cup car. Blaney and the Bills, let's cook. Says Big John Talley. I guess NASCAR is allowing drivers like Chad Fincham to race in Cup. Perhaps they don't see a big deal about some Xfinity driver out there. LOL, says Dirty Deaf. Yeah, could be. Yeah, could be. I'd have to ask somebody in NASCAR about it because it is kind of a double standard, but I'd have to ask somebody in NASCAR about it. I just don't see anyone beating Larson or Hamlin tonight, in my opinion. It's between those two. I like your pick there, Shaw. Those are definitely two solid guys. Like I said, Ty Gibbs, I think Ty Gibbs can sneak in there and get it done. Kyle Busch, if he can figure out the handle of his car, I like his odds as well. BB, who sees their next W? Ty Gibbs, Kyle Busch, Carson Hocevar, or Alex Bowman? Says Jamie Schweitzer. That's a good question. I'm going to go with Kyle Busch there. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Kyle Busch, but I think all of them get a win within the next year. I'm seeing all four of them get a win within the next year for sure. Will Dillon get in 11 points back? It'd be awesome to see them advance. I think if he can keep it clean, which I think he will, I think he does get in. So yes, I'm going to predict him to get into the next round, and I think it's because somebody else has trouble and he just runs another clean race because that's what he is known to do in the playoffs. Sometimes it works out for him, sometimes it doesn't. But he's typically a guy that gets finishes and in the playoffs and finishes races. Will we have a new winner this year in 2025? And if so, how many? I can see Buescher winning and maybe Gibbs. I would have said Josephus, but lately hasn't been quite as good, says Dirty Deaf. I think we're going to see a return winner, and I do think it's going to be Kyle Larson or Denny Hamlin, as I think Shaw said earlier. I think those will be the two, but if we see a new winner, I'm going to go with Gibbs. So I'm with you on that one. I think it will be Ty Gibbs. Larson and Hendrick in general have not been running well at all. I personally think it's because Chevy hasn't changed the body in years, says T-Van. I'm with you. I think the body is finally starting to catch up with Chevrolet. So, yeah, 100% in agreement with you there, T-Van. The other teams have finally figured out their new body, and Chevrolet is feeling the effects of just a really old body at this point. Josephus and Bowman pit crew now, so he's screwed. Number one pit crew goes to zeros, says Shaw. Indeed, could be a sign of things. We will see. Heroes to zeros, says Shaw. Lisa Jones, thanks for becoming a member. Appreciate you. Watch some of the supercar races at Adelaide Street Course to understand the type of race to expect. If you're interested and checking out the race later this year. Indeed, will do. I used to watch. I haven't watched it as much recently, but there is a good YouTube channel. Well, they have their own YouTube channel, I should say. So I do check out some of the replays for sure. But back in the day when it was on the Speed channel, I used to love it because it would come on like super early in the morning, late at night, however you wanted to call it back then, and it would still be live, and it was great fun back then. This is back when Marcus Ambrose and all them were actually still racing. Win Cup. Who was the other one? I think Win Cup was in there. They had some good battles back in the day, but those were the two names I remember mostly. And one was the big Ford guy, and one was the Holden Monero guy back in the day. I hope Zilich gets one more start in the 87 this year, says OJ and Tupix. I hope so too. I hope they can figure something out. I think Zilich is going to struggle next year. The car is extremely difficult. He's behind 4 years already compared to the rest of the field. Yeah, it seems like a really hard transition, but you never know. It didn't affect SVG, but then again, it's a different. He's coming from a car that's very similar to this car, but most drivers it has taken them a couple of years at least to get things going the right way. Thanks for becoming a member. Lisa says. Rosie, indeed, we do appreciate the support. Zilly Putty will be fine, says Shaw. Kid is a phenom. I agree with you. I do think he's a phenom. I just don't know how long it'll take him to put it together, but I think once he puts it together, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Evening, y'all. Larson is my pick for tonight, says Douglas Serrano. I like the pick. If Gibbsy and Hurricane don't get a win this year, Zilly will beat them to the first win next year, says Shaw. That's probably not the worst prediction I've ever seen in my life, so that might be true. Completely agree. I think it's going to hurt the sport as a whole if it goes to trial. Really hope they can figure something out before it gets to that point. Yeah, I hope it doesn't get there because I think it's going to hurt it overall. I'm with you there, Diff. Completely agree with everything you say there. I can't really add anything more to that. Denver Thurston, I think you're right. Roger never allows his drivers to engage in extracurricular driving, even the Indy 500, which he owns, says Jamie Switzer. You're right, BB. It was Curtis Turner. That move definitely hurt him with the France family. Oh yeah. They were big Curtis Turner haters. Curtis Pops Turner haters after that. Great. There's a great book on Curtis Turner called Pops or something like that. Check it out if you ever want to read. Pretty good one about him. He was something else. He was a wild man for sure. Also, Fireball Roberts tried a union, says Rodney Collier. Yeah, so good point. Fireball Roberts actually had built his own track and everything. So he was before he passed on. I think at Charlotte, he was in the midst of, or maybe it was Daytona. But anyway, he was in the midst of putting together a whole different series for sure. Cindric hit the jackpot in qualifying. Does not have a great track record at Bristol and qualifies third all of a sudden when he needed it, says Dirty Duff. Yep. Hey, when the lights shine the brightest and you got to show up. Austin Cindric is that guy. Let's see, or whatever Ric Flair said. Dirty Duff, I think he will struggle, but I also think he will figure it out real quick, says T-Van. Yeah, he's definitely going to struggle because that car is totally different, but I do think he'll figure it out at some point. I think at COTA, he was the fastest car, even though his car got wrecked. So I think probably if he hasn't won by COTA, I think COTA is going to be his best chance to get a win early on in the season. Of the 16 playoff drivers, only 4 have won a championship. There you go. We might get a new playoff champion. Let's see. Shaw saying, let's go Ford. Ford has some really good commercials right now. I've been liking the way that they've been shot. They've got some really aggressive ads, at least on the YouTubes here recently. Regardless of how he performs, hats off to Austin Cindric for doing it. It takes guts to do it. And let's be honest, we've seen drivers often drop out, says Dirty Def. Yeah, 100%. I want to see Austin Cindric compete over there, and hopefully, even if he doesn't do good, I don't even care about that. I'm just glad that he has taken the challenge upon himself to race against the best of the best at that type of racing and try to improve his ability. He is the only Cup Series driver that seems to want to engage in trying to get better and give SVG at least some competition on these road courses. I bet Austin Cindric is working on heel toe as we speak, right foot heel toe as we speak. Some of his, including his teammate, don't seem to want to make that effort to at least give SVG some resistance. So we will see how it goes for him over there. Hopefully it is a positive thing for sure. $5 for 5 win. Kyle's favorite Kyle. Indeed. Appreciate you there, Camaro. I do think Kyle Larson is going to get it done here. Hopefully I don't curse him. Little Gator is the king of side force. It's crazy to watch him do it at super speedways. Indeed, he is a veteran and a legend. Rosie appreciating it as well. Camaro, Go Larson number 5 says OJ and toothpaste. Yep, I think this is going to be a Larson day for sure. If it goes the Toyota route, I think it is going to be a Dennis Hamlin day. But we will see. I do think those are the 2 guys to beat. But like I said, Ty Gibbs, don't sleep on Teasy. AAA sanctioning lost control of safety. USAC took over AAA IndyCar and their version of Stockers had to merge drivers, says Brickyard Brickheads. There you go. I need to look up I'm not super familiar with the ins and outs of it. I just remember he tried to start a series. Appreciate you helping us out and filling us in there, Brickyard. A wealth of knowledge on all things. We'll just say Indianapolis related. You have a good knowledge base there. I appreciate you, my man. Let's see. Austin Cindric has a lot to gain. Respect from my Chevrolet, Ford supercar fans for having a go in supercars and Adelaide Street Course, which is Adelaide is the granddaddy of street courses in Australia and the world, says Denver. Yeah, so Adelaide is like the really big one, and then there's another one, Bathurst, I think, which is it's so technical and it's so hard to pass, but if like you can survive, and I think it's 1,000 kilometers maybe, but I think Bathurst and Adelaide are always the 2. They're like in NASCAR you want to win the Daytona 500 and Darlington or wherever. It's one of the crown jewels. That's 2 of their crown jewels. I do remember that from back in the day. But yeah, Adelaide is going to be a real test. It's going to be a real test for him for sure. And like you said, he's got a lot to gain. I think he'll make some fans for sure over there in that world. Blaney had a fast car in the spring and qualified second. He made his way up front, but then the pit strategy cost him at the end, says Dirty Def. Yeah, for sure. He's had an interesting season. If it wasn't for the DNFs and him and Denny Hamlin not missing a race, the regular season really would have got super interesting between them and Byron. Have you heard anything about a body change for Chevy in the offseason? They definitely need something. Yeah, so Chevy is rumored to have a new body, even though they don't have a new car coming out. So I can't remember if that was verified or not, but I do think Chevrolet has a new body next year, but it just won't, it's not associated to a new car. So it's just, once again, going to be the Chevrolet, and NASCAR has said that that's okay. So I can't remember if that was verified or not, but that's what I remember. I think it was verified though, but somebody can check on that. I'm pretty sure it was verified though. Blaney was strongest in both practice and qualifying. He could surprise win this, says Shy. Yeah, never. That's another one at a short track. Good call, Shy. That's another one at a short track you don't really want to bet against is Ryan Blaney. He is really good at short track racing. In my opinion, the strongest car. I wasn't going to say anything because I don't want anyone else fantasy picking him. I've already got my fantasy roster set, so you're good. I can't remember if he's in it or not though. Let's see. An article I read in Car and Driver magazine, the new Nova may be looking like it may be the Cup Chevy of tomorrow, says Jamie Schweitzer. So there you go. Maybe they're going to name the new car a Nova. But as of right now, my understanding is they've got a new nose, but it's just going to be called the Chevy again. Just thought about it. Thoughts on a Haas factory going back to Chevy. Do you think it will help their performance next year or perhaps hurt their Xfinity playoff run this year? So a lot of things with that Haas deal. It's they're aligned with Hendrick, so I think that will probably help them, and I hope it helps them a lot because Cole Custer had such a good return to the Xfinity Series and earned his way back up, in my opinion, that I really want him to have something decent to drive in the Cup Series, and I don't think he's had anything decent to drive in the Cup Series since he's returned. So hopefully he gets the good Hendrick equipment, you know what I mean? The good Hendrick Alliance, and is at least has the same stuff that the Spire guys have. Because I think if he has the same stuff that the Spire guys have, I think you'll see some top 10s and some top 15s easy. And obviously he's able, he can get some wins here and there when the car is good enough, a la, a Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and guys like that. I do think he has that talent for sure. But yeah, other than that, I don't know which way to go with it. I don't know if they're just switching to Chevrolet for a year and then maybe they're one of the Dodge teams when Dodge comes in. But there's all kinds of different directions you can go with that. that's just the first one that sort of pops in mind. Zilly Putty ain't gonna stick. Shy, just like Godzilla ain't gonna stick, says Camaro. So Camaro is not in love with the Zilich nicknames there from Shaw. My only reason I don't think Zilly is a slam dunk for a win next year is because I've heard him say a couple times how he wasn't a fan of the Cup car, how it drives. Better get to embracing that beast, says Dirty Def. Yeah, that's a good point. But to that point, I don't think a lot of the Cup Series drivers like the way the current Cup car drives. So I don't think he's I don't think he's in the minority as far as that goes. Roberts, as a result of the famous Fireball wreck, was at Charlotte, has 22 ever won Charlotte after that wreck, says Jamie Schweitzer. Kurt Busch, maybe, when he was driving the 22 Pennzoil car. That's just a guess. That's just a guess. I don't know. Not off the top of my head. I can't remember off the top of my head. When you think of bright lights, you think of Cindric. Indeed. When the lights shine the brightest, you think of Austin Cindric and his super cool bow tie. No doubt about it. Let's see. Camaro 50, of course. Zilly Putty won't stick. It stretches and forms as it needs be, and copies comic print. What's comic print? The comic books even exist anymore? Are newspapers still a thing? And yes, I do know what you meant, says Shah. Coda third race next year. So I think it's going to be tough for Zilich to win his third race as a full-time driver, but he's good at Coda, no doubt. So good point. Agree with you. My counterpoint to that would be it's early in the season and nobody has their car dialed in just yet. So I like upset winners better at the beginning of the season because nobody has their stuff dialed in. So it's easier to hit something early on than it is later in the season. That's just my logic. That at least my late model logic. You'll see in late models. You'll see a lot of times, you'll see a lot of the new winners at the beginning of the season. Then at the end of the season, that's when you see guys go on these 13 and 14 wins in a row and stuff like that because they just get something figured out. I feel like it's the same way in the Cup Series. It's easier for a new guy to win at the beginning of the season. They even said it with Jimmy Johnson. They said Jimmy Johnson's best runs, because he's running that part-time schedule. They said his best runs are going to be coming at the beginning of the season before everybody gets acclimated again back in the Cup car. So that's the counterpoint to the Zilich third race at Coda. Point you're making there, but it is a good point. It's a fair point. Let's see. Zilly Putty is like tackle ball. Boo, says Camaro 50. If this race is Toyota, don't get your hopes up for Loudon. It's been a Toyota and Ford stranglehold as of late. Indeed. Both of my people I watch are at the track. So who do I watch tonight? Says T-Van. I don't know. That's a good question. I think definitely keep an eye on Larson. I think he's going to get it done here. Funny they asked Ross before the Xfinity Series race about Zilich, and he was like, he'll be great here, but I don't know if he needs to go near that sword in victory lane. Oh, Ross, that's a good one. Ross made a funny. Appreciate you there, Dirty Def. Let's see. I don't know where to watch tonight. Neither, says Lisa Jones. For me, it is coming on USA. USA Network is the channel that I'll be at least on the in the United States is the channel that it'll be on. Will Allmendinger win the Cup today? Says or win the race today? Says OJ and Toothpaste. I don't know. I don't see this being one of his stronger tracks, but I didn't see him getting the pole either. So maybe they got something figured out on that car. Does he pull an Eric Almirola and just dominates one race and then goes back to sort of being a good but not dominant car like Eric Almirola did at New Hampshire or wherever he did that one time? Where do you see my boy Suarez going next? Says Enzo. Good question. If I had to take a stab at it, I would say Spire. I think he ends up at Spire, but that's just a total guess. Just a total guess in the dark. Hello, Lisa. Welcome to Club BB, says Camaro 50. Indeed. Welcome to the team. Shy. I wouldn't trust Zilly playing tackle ball. Leave him in bubble wrap, says Dirty Def. Yeah, he's gonna have a hard time living that one down. OJ and Toothpaste 2 on Earth 2, says Shy. for sure. The only person that really loves this car is SVG. The whole time he was in Xfinity, he was like, this Cup car fits him a lot better, says Dirty Def. Yeah, it's what he's used to. It's relative perspective, right? He's used to that type of car, so it suits him a lot better. At least I think it's on USA Network, says Rosie. Which that's the channel it is on for me as well. Great point, BB. Definitely have seen more different winners at the beginning of the season, says Dirty Def. Zilich will see some immediate success in Cup. He will gain the career nickname, replacing his first name, Winner Zilich, says Jamie Schweitzer. So we will see. We will see. Will a car under the cut line advance tonight, says Dirty Def. That is so currently I would say yes, because I think Austin Dillon is under the cut line right now, and I do think Austin Dillon will advance. So that's one, and Bowman, Shaw thinks Bowman is going to win. So those are two guys. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. One under the cut line does advance. Bruce Garvey used to drive Bathurst on the computer. Love that course. Has a lot of downhill straight. You build up speed fast. Says Bruce Garvey. Yeah, I used to drive Bathurst too, and I drove it not for the 1,000 kilometers or whatever, because I would always at some point just get zone out and smoke the wall or whatever. Lisa Jones saying thanks. You are quite welcome. Anyone have the Discord link for Lisa, says Camaro 50. Somebody can drop it down in there. Usually Wise Guys got it. If not, we'll drop the Discord link next live stream for sure. It's the only thing to give Zilich a hard time out because he's been so good this season, says Reddit. Indeed, it's been his only mistake so far this season. SVG is going to be good next year, says Shah. I agree. Okay, who falls below, says Dirty Def. So that is just going to depend on who wrecks first. So let me go back to the qualifying order, because that's what I'm going to go off of. I don't love where Chase Briscoe's at, but I think he's got enough points to survive. I don't love where Joey Logano's at, but if he can get through with Austin Dillon, he's got a good chance. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna say if somebody falls below, it's gonna be Joey Logano. Well, Briscoe's locked in, so I'm gonna say it's gonna be either Joey Logano, or Tyler Reddick or Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, or Joey Logano would be they're in situations where I could see them possibly get wrecked. Let's see. Joseph Wooten, I am Dino on Twitch, is a good person to watch if you don't get USA Network. So there you go. Check him out on Twitch. He does live streams during the race, obviously. My Earth 2 pick is Alex Bowman, says Jamie Schweitzer. Shy hitting the sauce yet? You suck sober, says Camaro 50. Earth 2 pick is Josh Berry, says John Carpenter. That's a solid pick. That's my Earth 2 pick as well. Unfortunate start to the season, or to the playoffs for Josh Berry in his first playoff attempt. Bright side for Josh Berry, there's nowhere to go but up from here next time he makes the playoffs. Briscoe is going to survive. He is locked in, says John Carpenter. Indeed. He does have the win. For sure, he is locked in. I think there's going to be an issue if a driver falls below the cut line, which is definitely possible. Yeah, I think somebody's going to get wrecked tonight and probably fall below, and one of those guys at the cut line is going to advance. I just don't know who's going to get wrecked, but from where they qualified, those are probably the three most likely candidates that are above the cut line to get wrecked. What time does the green drop, says Enzo? 7:30 East Coast time, if I'm not mistaken. Me too. Cheers. Camaro saying he sucks too. So cheers to himself when he is not in the sauce, we'll say. 8 non-stage ending cautions and at least 1 red flag, I call, says Jamie Schweitzer. I do think we'll get a red flag. I agree 100%. I do think we'll get a lot of cautions. I just don't know how many. Cindric qualifying may have saved him. Only 11 points ahead of Austin Dillon is not much, says Dirty Def. Yeah, and I think it's going to be a track position race, and they're really good at track position, so I think they're good. Our Ford's a no-no tonight, says Brickyard Brickhead. I wouldn't be afraid to pick one, especially Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney's really good at short tracks. If you want to take a wild card pick, Josh Berry is really good at short tracks too, but you also have to factor in that he's wrecked every race of the play, or had bad luck every race of the playoffs thus far. So take that as it is. But yeah, I wouldn't be scared to pick a Ford at all. Obviously, Toyota's got the hot hand right now, though. All right, final results of the poll question. Who finishes the highest? Larson, Bell, Hamlin, or Elliott? Kyle Larson at 47% is you guys' votes. Second most, 23% for Hamlin, 17% for Bell, and 13% for Elliott. Don't sleep on any of those guys. They are the driveraverages.com besties at this track. So we will see how it all shakes out tonight. Blaney versus Toyota versus Larson tonight, says they're Def. That's probably a pretty accurate way to do it. Peace out, BB. Enjoy the race. You too, Dirty Def. Great job, brother, says Aaron Flynn. You too, Aaron Flynn. I appreciate the support. Blaney and Cindric Fords are strong, says Shy. Indeed. Hard to pick against Penske in the playoffs. Tire fall off is always a topic at Bristol. My question is, will a tire fall off a car? Says Jamie Spicer. That's a great question. Will they get all the single lugs attached for the entire race? Great question. I don't know. All right. Hope your driver does well in the race. Until the next one. Peace.